The Aquarian age is upon us, marked by a shift towards individualism, decentralization, and a focus on the greater good. It's such an exciting time to be alive because we have the opportunity to create a better future for ourselves and the world. Quoted by ChatGPT. What's up? My name is Kelsey, and welcome to We Are Cosmic Nature, the podcast. I'm really excited to share the topic today. And what that topic is my very honest experience with network marketing and how that is related to the current astrological picture, the Aquarian age that we're moving into. And I asked ChatGPT, if you're not familiar with that yet, it's an AI bot that is like a search engine times 1,000. It kind of has its own brain. And I wanted to know, what does this bot think of the Aquarian age? Does it know what it means? And actually, I quite liked what it had to say. So, okay. This is going to be an informative episode that includes some takeaways of my experience in the realm of network marketing. And if you don't know what network marketing is, it is a version of marketing and, marketing, business, sales. This is commerce. This is the economy. This is how our world is run. It's exchange of value and goods and services. And that's part of what has kept our trajectory of society the way it is right now. We are in a capitalism realm, which essentially means that, well, we can go into that whole other time. And, as Pluto has been moving through Capricorn, beginning in 2008 with a financial crisis in the US that spread and rippled across the world. And its move into Aquarius has showed us the shadow side of that Capricorn energy and capitalism, which is like really building, and it's almost pyramid-like. Like there's people on top that have power and control, and then, we spread from there to the bottom, and really that there's a handful of people on the planet that are actually capitalizing, that are really benefiting greatly from the way that our society is kind of structured in the area of commerce and business, but that's shifting, and we're moving into a new realm, which is really exciting, and why I wanted to share a little bit about my experience with network marketing and direct sales, which I think really encapsulates the Aquarian age and a new way of doing business and getting the benefactors, people who benefit to be everyone, not just the people on top, not just the CEO or the owner of a big company. It's much more of an equal and fair way of doing business. So, network marketing, it allows people to benefit, to leverage the power of their network to create income. And often that can even be passive income because of how network marketing can work. Now, it does depend on the business opportunity, the company that you've signed on with. Maybe you created your own, which is really great. This isn't the only sort of Aquarian way of doing business. There's affiliate marketing and other sort of commission-based, like there's so many ways that you can move into a new way of doing business. There's even employee-owned companies, which I think is really cool, where when you become an employee, you get like a share of the company's earnings, which I think is excellent. But yeah, so network marketing, it's untraditional in a way in terms of like where we've been. So, you know, you're working on your own terms, you're setting your own schedule, and often you're coming together with a company that aligns with your vision and your values, and you really appreciate the product. And it depends. Like, you may have heard of things like Juice Plus, or I don't even know some of the other ones, Arbonne. Like, those are kind of some bigger names that a lot of people know. And maybe if you grew up in the time of I guess the 90s, there was Tupperware parties. I'm pretty sure that was like direct sales network marketing. I can't remember, but my mom used to have these parties and everyone was like selling Tupperware. It was quite interesting. But yeah, it's like, I remember that being like a party, and like they would drink wine and chat, and they're like doing business. Like, it's not like you pay $75 for an item when really it only costs the company $3, right? And that money needs to go to the employees at the counter, the software, the rental of the building, the distribution, the manufacturing, the marketing. Like, there's so many steps, whereas direct sales or network marketing is like, it's you and the other person, and it's just kind of like you sell the product and you get your commission. And the commission often, in at least in the company I'm involved in, is like they pay out what would be the equivalent of like what you would pay for all those things I just mentioned, like the marketing and the rent, and that, because you're the marketer and you're processing the sale. Okay, so I wanted to share a little bit about my experience. And if you've ever come across someone who's like, hey, I have this opportunity, it's really cool, you know, it allows you to work online or make your own schedule, or you know, here's the commission plan, and you've kind of been like, oh yeah, like that's interesting, and like there's a part of you that's like, oh, is this, you know, there's the common things are, this is a scam, or you know, it ends up just being a subscription, and then you end up losing money and you lose your investment. What else is there? But then there's like that glimmer of hope, because you see that and you hear about other people's successes and you read their testimonials and you're like, oh, but maybe. And then you're like, no, because like, what would my family think, or what would my partner think, or when am I going to have time to do this? But like, it is enticing, right? Because maybe you've been in a job, or you are doing other projects, or your life is busy, but there's still that like, oh man, that would be nice, because you know, based on again, this really does depend on the company, but a typical sort of network marketing structure can be that, you know, you bring in people on your team, kind of like real estate, and if they make a sale, you get a part of their commission as well. Like, not, you don't get a part of their commission, they get their own commission, but you get a commission in addition to. So every company does this a little bit different. The one I work with is patented, and it's quite unique. But they've been in business for 50 years. It's a Japanese company, and like, it's amazing, the successes and the community. And I guess I should just get into what I like and what I don't like, and maybe I'll tell you a little bit about my story and why I started. And I think it's similar for some people. So when I first joined, I was working 2 jobs at a restaurant and a health food store, while simultaneously studying holistic health coaching, because there was some sort of ping. I remember it was 2018. In March, I was sweeping the floors at the restaurant, and I was like, there's got to be something else. Like, there's got to be something else. And I was connected with a few people on Instagram, and I was appreciating their lifestyle. And interestingly, they were also studying holistic health coaching. And I was like, you know, I love health and wellness. I love yeah, sharing that with other people, maybe. And it was just like, it was such a pivotal shift for me to actually even think about the opportunity or the possibility of me doing something other than a job that I get paid for, like hourly. And in my case, tips. Tips is, and if you're in waitressing, you know that tips is where you make your money, at least in Canada. And I believe the US as well. So, I was tired of feeling like my schedule was at the mercy of someone else. I like to do things my own way. I like to, holler at me if you can relate. And anyway, so this health coaching sounded really great, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I was studying that, and then about 6 months later, an opportunity popped in by the same person who I was following. She was, doing holistic health coaching full time and maybe babysitting as well. Um, and she was sharing this business opportunity. And I, jumped on a call with her and I was like, is this for real? Like, what you're showing me here, is this for real? And she's like, it's for real. Like, I'm living it. And I just got like a full body. I have chills right now. I just got like a full body, like, I want to do this. I want to be a part of something bigger. And the product itself is definitely in the realm of health and wellness, and something I'd never seen before. And I just knew. I was like, yes, this feels amazing to be able to walk into this realm of entrepreneurship and business. And I was like, this can incorporate with my holistic health coaching. Like, it just felt really great. And then, the investment part of it came up, which was scary AF because I had never invested in myself other than college, which was a whole other story. But I didn't want to really invest myself in college, but I did it because that's what you do. But this was like, oh my God, this is scary. And of course, I lied. I lied about how much it cost to a couple people. And I just went for it, and I got financing from like the bank, a loan from the bank. And I jumped in and I got my products, and I mean, the products are incredible. And that was like a huge turning point for me. Wow, I invested in myself. I started this new thing. And for the first 2 years, I was really in it. And yeah, I was really in it. I was excited and I was passionate, and I was taking quite a bit of action. I was traveling full time. And then it was the pandemic, and I had to come home from traveling, and kind of just entered this whole awakening journey. And I do believe that starting a business began that journey because when you kind of invest in yourself and you're putting yourself out there, you are also recognizing all these shadows and blocks that come up. And I'm like, oh, I have so much scarcity mindset to work on. So I was kind of already working on myself, personal development, mindset work. And then, yeah, and then it was the pandemic, and we really had to sit with ourselves. And I kind of just retreated. Not so much in 2020, more so in 2021. So in 2020, I was still, pretty active in the business. And then 2021 into 2022 2021 was a full retreat. 2022 was trying to crawl out of it. But so on a personal note, I kind of just went back in, and I had to connect with my heart. Sort of, I was questioning, my path, and I never questioned the business, though. I never questioned the opportunity. I knew it was always there, but I didn't have the energy, I guess, to put into it. And the beautiful thing is, it never goes away. It's always there. So I was still very lightly working on it. And I actually got a job in marketing and really enhanced my skills. And I just needed like a solid foundation for a bit to just ground my nervous system. And now we're kind of in this new phase, for me personally anyways, where I'm excited again. Like, things are moving. I'm really excited to share more about it from a heart-centered place, hence this podcast. And I'm excited. And, sometimes that's the thing, we have life cycles, like in astrology in your chart. When we look at your chart, you've got cycles, and you've got times where you are more yin, and you've got times where you're more yang. So you've got times where you're more doing some internal landscaping and exploring. And then you've got times where you're really building on the external. So I think I'm coming out on a little bit more of an external, still kind of internal. Like it's kind of weird. There's some mixed energy going on, but nonetheless, I'm excited. And also, if you've listened to this podcast, you may have heard my episode on astrology, entrepreneurship, and business. I mean, hilarious. Like my network marketing business, the astrology of it is wild. Like I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, yes, like this is for sure what's happening. The business itself is here to be a teacher to me, and to show me where I need to take responsibility. And that's a bit challenging, but there's so much opportunity in the astrology chart of my business. Like I think it's like Mercury, Sun, and Jupiter are all in the 11th house of Sag, which is like, the 11th house is very Aquarius. It's like doing things differently, also like connecting in community, building a network. Like Jupiter's abundance and opportunity, Mercury is communication. So make sure you're communicating, and like it's just hilarious. So yeah, that's a little bit about my story. I hope that's maybe some of you can relate. Maybe some of you have dabbled or been curious, or you've heard of it, you've heard opportunities, you like the idea of even a side hustle. Like it can go full-time, it can be absolutely as part-time as you want, right? Like it's up to you. And that's the beauty of it. It's so flexible. It's so great. Now I wrote down a couple things. The 5 lessons I've learned, what I like and what I don't like, and my successes and challenges, because I wanted to be very honest about this experience. And, I think often we see the 10K month, the 6-figure month, the freedom, the lifestyle, the nomad thing. And I did some of those things. But I wanted to share that, like, when it comes to entrepreneurship, and I guess specifically in this realm, but entrepreneurship in general, like it's not always easy, and it's okay if it's not perfect and linear. This isn't linear. It's like cyclical, right? So I guess I would share, let's start with the 5 lessons I've learned, because, and I've learned like 100, but I'll keep it simple and share 5. So if you want to get into network marketing or start your own business of any kind, here's a few lessons I've learned. So 1, you have to switch from employee mindset to business owner. And if you've been an employee, that like there's this level of someone's above you, there's an authority, and you feel like you have to show up. You feel like you should do that thing, and you're trading your time for money. But I still struggle with this sometimes. Switching to business owner means you are in control. You got to get organized. You got to manage the finances. You got to, find empowerment as well. Like, be your own motivator, be your own cheerleader, keep yourself on track. The other thing is, you can find people in community and, accountability partners and things like that, but just getting out of that employee mindset and knowing that your time isn't exactly related to the money you earn. Like, that's the other thing about, especially if you're working online, there's automation processes that can work for you so that your time isn't correlated specifically to money. So you can work less and earn more. And let's see. Number 2 is investing in yourself is key. So whether that's courses or mentorship, that has, I've invested more in that over the years than the initial investment of the business. And it's helped so much for myself personally and for my business. to get clarity, to get focus, to get organized. Like, yes, I'm sure you've heard that. If you've ever kind of explored business or entrepreneurship podcasts or YouTubes or something, like most people say, like, you gotta have a mentor or just keeping your skills up to date, because especially in the times we're in now, technology changes fast, so it's good to keep up with it. Number 3 is organize, schedule, and prioritize. So time management, really just like setting time literally in your calendar, like actually putting it in your calendar, work on business or create content or go live or sales calls or whatever, like just getting yourself organized. Like, if that was your schedule. So just finding time in your day. If it's getting up earlier, then that's what it is. But keeping organized will be key to help you stay consistent. Number 4 is sharing from the heart. So really, I guess that was, my intention today, is I wanted to share from the heart. I wanted to be real and authentic. And that is the energy that will be magnetic, because you're connecting to yourself on a soul level, literally, like through the heart, like just being real. That is so much more powerful than, thinking for 4 hours about what words you're going to use in a post. What do you actually just want to say? We'll get you further. And number 5 is there's no race. Opportunity abounds. Like, this is also part of like cultivating that abundance mindset, which could be lesson number 6. There's no race. Like, there's always people who are going to, there's always people who you can help, who you can connect with, build with, and go forward with. And there's no shortage of people on this planet. And thankfully we have the internet, so we can connect with people all over. And, something I learned from my business mentor, who I have right now, is I was like sharing how I feel a little bit guilty about not showing up more. And she's like, you might be in a pause, like, and that's okay. Like, trust your body, trust your signals of your body. Like, there's no race. So that I appreciated so much. Okay, and I wanted to share what I like and what I don't like about network marketing. And then I will get into the astrology of it here shortly. What I like is that you get to help people, you get to work with people, you get to share products you love, you get to go at your own pace, do it your own way. There's often a community aspect to it, which actually is very Aquarian. Aquarius rules community. There's community. So it's not just like you work at a specific office or store and those are your people and that's it. And sometimes you don't always get along with your workmates. But with network marketing, like, your network's often larger, and it could be Facebook groups of thousands of people, or group chat with 100 people in it, or but it's global. So, and like, everyone cheers each other on. And if you're in a network marketing company and it feels competitive and nobody's cheering each other on, I'd take a look at that, because in my experience, it's been like, I've met some of my best friends through this, and you meet people from everywhere who have a similar vision to you, who have similar values to you, who are goal-oriented, who are ambitious, and who have skills to share with you. I find that literally everyone's here to help each other. And I love it. I love it so much. The other wonderful, beautiful thing is it's really a gateway into entrepreneurship. So if you're like not sure how to start, like, you have ideas, I don't know about you. I mean, I do multiple things. So I like to have a variety of things to work on. Like, I do astrology readings, and I do other like business support for other business owners, like on the tech side of things. And I like to have a variety, but if you need like that gateway, that portal to bring you into the realm of entrepreneurship, this is honestly such a great way to start because it's turnkey. You don't have to create a product. You don't have to create a website. You don't have to do anything other than share and communicate the product or the opportunity that's there. And I mean, that's just the best. If you're like, you don't have to open a store or anything like that. Like all of that's done for you. So I love that part of it. And the other part I really love is the unlimited income. And I think this depends on certain companies. Some might have a bit of an income cap. The one I'm in specifically doesn't. So that's always nice. So it's like sky's the limit. Like as much as you want to commit and grow, like it's available there for you. And I'm so grateful for that part of it because, it helps you to have that tangible, like hand in it. Like I can do this. If there's a certain amount of income I want to produce, I could. It's there. And that goes too with just entrepreneurship in general. You can price your product however you want. So that part is great there as well. And then what I don't like, this was actually very hard because I'm like listing off all these things I like, which it could go on. I'm just trying to keep this short and sweet. What I don't like, I was sitting there, I'm like, I don't think there's anything I don't like about it. But I did write one thing, and that it makes you face your shadows, which actually is a blessing and such a good thing. It's been, like the catalyst to my spiritual growth, honestly, and my personal growth. But sometimes that can be uncomfortable, facing your shadows. Doesn't always feel so great. But I mean, it's also, again, like I said, it's a blessing because you learn and grow. And some of these successes and challenges that I had in my experience, I guess I can start with challenges, is staying consistent. I do think consistency is key, even when it comes to your health. Like you want to brush your teeth every day, not every other day. Or you want to eat well, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the 80-20 rule, but you want to eat well most of the time and consistently in order to feel good. You want to exercise consistently if you have a certain goal in mind, right? So I've been, I would say inconsistent, but as I mentioned when I was sharing my story, I had a bit of just like a personal awakening going on. So that was, that's fine. I also honored the cycles too. Like consistency, I would say I have stayed consistent in that I've been passionate about it this entire time. But I think I could be a little bit more consistent to really nurture the business, right? And sharing with confidence. I mean, when you're sharing something that's kind of your own, it can be hard sometimes for some of us. I wouldn't say confidence is my strong suit. So that's been something that's been a challenge. But I think I'm a lot better than where I was. And then managing my time, I guess that kind of goes in with consistency. Just making sure I put the block of time aside to work on it. But my successes, honestly, my first one was getting started. That felt like a huge celebration. Like, oh my God, I did it. Like, here we go. And I just felt so elated. My other successes has been committing to growth of myself and the business. Whether or not that was consistent or not, but I'm committed for sure. So I feel like that's a success, and I'm not going anywhere, and this company isn't going anywhere. So I feel so grateful for that. And then my other successes is bringing in the people that I've brought in. Like I said, some of these people are my BFFs and it's really such a great thing to, they've shared with me, like, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful you shared this with me because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have this opportunity if it wasn't for you, for that post you made or whatever. And, I'm so grateful for that. That feels like such a success to be able to, and also like to have other people, experience the product and experience the benefits of the product, that feels like such a success. And part of that also goes with my parents too. I have them in on it too, and I think that's helping their health and well-being, and that feels like a success. So yeah, that's my honest experience, and I'm still in love with it. And I wanted to share a little bit about what makes this connected to the Aquarian age. So the Aquarian age is it depends on, what astrologer or energy reader or whatever you ask. I don't know. I don't really believe there's one answer to this, but it relates to, you know, specifically, I would say Pluto moving into Aquarius has brought us into the Aquarian age, even more. It's really a transition of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. These are 2,000-year cycles, and what happens in these 2,000-year cycles is similarly to, when the planets move through a certain sign, it goes on a journey through that sign from 0 to 29 degrees, and every degree kind of has its own potency and flavor of that sign. And the planets move around all the signs, the whole zodiac wheel. But then there's like an even like more galactic version of like moving through the signs. Okay, so it's like 2,000 years that you're in a sign. So we're heading into the Aquarian age, and what Aquarius represents is it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So we just moved out of the age of Pisces, and that is, I could see how the age of Pisces could be really great, maybe spiritual awakenings and healing, and okay, don't get me wrong, we had that, but Pisces can also rule illusions and delusions, and it kind of feels like we sort of leaned on the shadowy side of it. And I mean, this is something even I want to study too, like why. I've listened to a few podcasts, but like, why did we kind of fail at the age of Pisces? And maybe don't quote me on that. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we learned our lessons. But what's happening in the age of Aquarius, and especially with Pluto moving into Aquarius over the next 20 years, is we are connecting together. We're connecting heart to heart. We're building community. This is about equality. This is about sharing. This is about new paradigm. This is about literally innovation and change, new ways of doing things. And it's radical change, really. It's like stepping away from the old and welcoming in a new way of being. And I mean, there's like certain, like communities on Earth, indigenous communities, and also you may have seen like little eco hubs, and people are kind of making these little sort of villages where they all have a garden and they share the resources, and like that's very Aquarius. And what I believe network marketing is an Aquarian way of doing things. It's like getting out of what we're in and doing it differently, and sharing and caring, and it's a distribution of wealth in a new way. And I think that's really powerful. And I just know, I know that this is going to become more popular in the next 20 years. I think maybe even like this business model might even become like the way, or new ways, right? New ways of doing business and exchanging value. The other thing too is, if you're listening to this podcast the day it comes out, Jupiter moved into Taurus, which is like so exciting because we've had the North Node in Taurus, and Taurus rules resources and money and like how we exchange value. And we've been kind of, in addition to, the other sort of transits I mentioned, Uranus is also in Taurus, by the way, which is like shaking it up, adding an Aquarian tone. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, adding Aquarius energy to how we resource ourselves, how we share resources, how we earn money and resources. So Um, that's a big shift too. So Jupiter moving into Taurus is actually like bringing opportunities. It's bringing abundance. And those who like, if you want to receive that energy of Jupiter, yeah, luck, abundance, opportunities, growth, it's helping us to collectively, and if you want to like individually find your inner, I don't know, I have the word spark on my mind, but it's like, what are your values and what are your values? What's important to you? What are your resources? Like literally time, money, energy, food, shelter, like what's important to you and how do you want to distribute your energy and manage that material life. And I think Jupiter is going to bring, opportunities for many new perspectives even. And I think that there's a shift. And I mean, I don't watch the news really, but you don't have to watch it to kind of know what's going on. And I've heard different, I mean, this is at the time of this recording. I'm definitely recording this ahead of time. So who knows what happens by the time it comes out. But, I've heard there's no job shortages. There's like people shortages. And like people are like, where's everyone going? And like low key, I'm like, I think everyone's just doing their own thing. Like, I think more people are stepping into entrepreneurship, are resourcing yourself, because guess what? That's more secure than a job, in my opinion, because it's you and your offerings. Now that depends on the job. I understand that and what you have to offer, but more or less, like if you can trust yourself, resource yourself, share what you have to others, like you can stay consistent, you're in control and you're in the driver's seat. And part of this Aquarian teaching as well, as we move through, especially the next 20 years and beyond, is the more authentic you can be, the more real and truthful and honest and open you can be about what's important to you and where you're going and what your visions are, and like literally staying in your lane, the people who are also on a similar path are going to find you and join you on that path, which I think like that is this Aquarius time. Like that is what this is about. So thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful and maybe insightful. Maybe it validated some of the things you were feeling. Maybe you have questions. Whatever it is, feel free to send me a message. I'll leave some links below, including the one to the network marketing company I'm a part of, why I love it, how you can get involved, and other resources in terms of astrology are always in the show notes below. But ultimately, I just hope that you found value. Like truly, that's what this is about. I felt inspired to create this podcast just because it feels important to share. It feels important to share that there's new ways of doing things. There's always opportunities out there. Go with what you like love to do and what lights you up, what you're passionate about. Like do more of that. Be yourself. Like ride your own wave. Like you have a frequency. This is Aquarius. You have a frequency, and the more you can align with it, the more powerful you'll feel. That's Pluto and Aquarius. So before I babble on too much, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.